Can't believe it's like 70 degrees and it's December. Looks like I finally hit 150,000 miles.
Nice car.
Appreciate it. Nice bike.
Had it for a little while now.
Oh yeah? Same me. I need to take better care of my shit. Best part about not having a HOA, I can work on my shit in the street. Almost forgotten to loosen my lug nuts. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the CAR-NIVORES YouTube channel. Today we are finally replacing the shocks on the G8. Bought them from G8 only. Basically the only place you can get shocks right now. Didn't get any PPV ones, they're all sold out. OEM all sold out. So I ended up buying some aftermarket ones for like 600 bucks or something. I don't remember. I'll link all that stuff in the description. I'm gonna go do one side because I don't know what I'm doing as usual. And then I'll try my best to show you what to do on the other side. So, don't have much sunlight. So we're gonna try to knock this out in this beautiful day in December. Yesterday I started and I actually made some mistakes that I know that not to make now. I had went ahead and got the front this side off, but what I didn't realize is they're not directional, but like this side, these hooks for the hoses are on one side, and I ended up rebuilding the spring for the other side, so that fucking sucked. And then I ran out of sunlight and went ahead and got this rear one on, and the rear is kind of a bitch just to get the shock in and out of the lower control arm. So now I have a little method of manhandling that I'll show you, because I don't think I found any videos online about the rear, and this is probably why, but whatever. It's pretty simple mechanically, but emotionally it's not as simple. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the rear, because I just finished the rear on that side, so I think I'll be able to knock it out faster, and then I will do the front. So let's go ahead and get this wheel off and get moving. Okay, now first thing you want to do is unbolt the shock and unbolt the lower control arm. So it's going to be bolt head and bolt nut on each side. This one is a little harder to get to on the opposite side. This one's pretty easy, but getting the shock out is the hard part. It's going to take a lot of fight is the best word I can say right now. So let's get to it. All right, all these heads are gonna be 18 millimeters. This lower control arm one, I used vice grip, and I grabbed the nut back here because I don't have any tools that can reach that. So I need to tighten that up a little bit, like that. Bam, and then work that damn bolt. So as usual, my impact is pretty fucking weak because it's some Walmart brand shit, so muscle it is a lot easier for me. So once that's loose, then I can use my weak ass impact. Now with the other side, it's the same thing, man, except I don't need to use my vice grips here. Alright, then if you're violent like me, I have a little flathead here that I don't care about. There we go. Okay, now you're supposed to remove the shock from the lower control arm first while it's still bolted up at the top. And that is probably because it is an absolute bitch and a half to get this fucking thing out of the way. So I'm going to try to replicate what I did earlier without embarrassing myself. So let's go. Okay, as you can see, that is now out. And my foot did get caught in here, but it ain't that bad. So now you have, get a little light on, these 4 bolts. These 2 are really easy to get to. These 2 are not as much, but you know, it's still easy to get to. You just might need to use shorter sockets or something like that. But all of these are 15s, so pretty simple. Okay, all right, next is the scary part for most people. I haven't been too scared of it. You need some spring compressors. My only tip, I've only done this once before this time on my old Camaro, is you want to make sure you get a good amount of springs, and you want to make sure that it's even. And you just want to be responsible, right? So you don't want it to be in like a unstable angle. You don't want to tighten it too much until you get the other side on. So this one, you're probably gonna have to slide it a little bit like that. So that's equally on the opposite side. And same thing, just tighten it a little bit. Oh, my other side is loose, so I'm gonna fix that right there. There you go. All right. That. Okay. No need to get too crazy. They're about the same length apart. They're a little angled, but we're not worried about that right now. All right, you're gonna get your 18, take it to the top. All right, as you can see, it's spinning down here. I usually just hold on to it. There we go. I'm not gonna reuse this because the shock comes with its own nut. And then always try to remember how this stacked on. So this is, you know, kind of upside down UFO looking. So we're gonna lay it like that. It's tight, bam. All right. So I like to do that. The nut there. All right, and then the dirty side is up on the shock. This is the little plastic piece. I reuse that just because, and I also use this. I don't know if I'm supposed to, I just did it anyway. All right, and then be careful with this. You don't wanna just like throw this around, because if those loosen up, it'll just shoot whatever direction. And then you wanna keep track of the seat, is what it's called, because it goes on a specific way. And the bottom, as you see, doesn't have a seat, which my old car used to have a seat, so I noticed that. All right, I'm using Peddlers. A lot of G8 guys use these. They're built for lowering springs, which I already have from the previous owner. They're Eibach. I'm on a budget. I would have got some different ones. I'm not a huge fan of Eibach because they're always trying to simulate stock suspension while lower, and it usually doesn't really work that well, but so far on this it's been fine. It's just the shocks have been blown out. So these shocks are actually meant for performance and lowering springs, so they should last a decent amount of time with the lowering springs. When you use stock shocks, it usually blows them out pretty quickly. I mean, not like immediately or nothing like that, but it usually hurts them pretty fast. I couldn't actually find any PPV shocks from the Caprice or any stock ones. They were all sold out, so I had to get the upgraded ones anyway. So this is the nut that I'm going to use. So I'm gonna reuse that because it's got the little thing inside of it. I'm gonna sit that on there for when I rebuild it. Okay, so immediately I'm already going right back. We're already in here. Bam. Sit that on there. Try not to lose that. Setting that in there. I sat it right at the rim. There you go. Dirty side on top. All right, so there's the, see where the coil sits there? So we're looking at, so as you see right here, you want to make sure it all lines up. So the issue is since this is compressed, it doesn't line up all the way. We got to tighten it up first, then decompress it. Dirty side down, the new nut. Try to keep it lined up as much as possible. All right, let's look at our line. Bam, we're good. Just a little bit out of the way. Flip it upside down so that that weight, whoops, is right where you want it. Just like that. There you go. We're lined up pretty decently. Should be able to move it like that a little bit. Make sure there's nothing spinning. That's pretty tight. I'm gonna go at that one more time just to make sure. That looks pretty good. My drill is weak, so I'm gonna try to use the wrench and use some muscle. Pretty good. All right, and now it's in reverse. Shove it back in there. Shove. This is the hardest part, is getting this part lined up and shoved into the lower control arm. I don't really have a very technical way of doing it, but we're gonna shove it in there. I noticed that my shock wasn't lined up right, so I had to twist it and put it back to where it needs to be. There we go. Let's not injure ourselves.
Again. There you go.
Oh shit. Sweet. This is why they pay people to do this shit. But I'm broke, so I can buy the parts, but. So same problem I had on the other side is the holes aren't lining up as well. So you gotta kind of improvise to get that to happen. go. All right, now before I tighten this up, I'm gonna get this side lined up. All right, so when this shit don't want to line up, I jacked up on the lower control arm until you can see the bolt hole on the other side. As you can see, it's pretty difficult to actually see it. It's right in there. So I'm gonna get the vice grip and hold the nut up in there again, then tighten it up, because I won't be able to get it in there if I don't. So okay, that's done. Let's get another wheel on it. There we go. There we go. Now it's time for the front. Okay, so starting the front, obviously you want to get the wheel off, and then your first bolts are going to be these. You're going to do these bolts, then you're going to take these out, and then you're going to do this sway bar, and then you do the top bolt, which is under the hood, and that's it. Like, it's kind of simple, actually. It's the rebuilding that's the tricky part, but it's not that bad. There's a couple of annoyances, but it's not that bad. Now that that's loose, I can use my weak ass drill. Okay, so this part over here just pops out like that. This one you have to turn with like some pliers or something. You turn it that way and it pulls out. And then this one on the back, it's a pinch, so you pinch that out.
Okay.
There we go. All right, disconnect these, then do these bolts. Then it's the sway bar end link, which is a 14 millimeter. Hey, my weak ass drill can actually get it off. All right, so you just pop that out right there. And then now we do the top bolt. You may have to vice grip this so it doesn't spin so you can get it out, but we'll see. I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna have that problem, but I remember having that issue on my Camaro. All right, so the top bolt is a 24 millimeter. Whole damn thing spinning. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, remember how this was? You know, it goes like that. Now, let's take this apart. Okay, first things first, gotta compress the spring, just like on the back side. These are a little bit more spread out. Secure that one. Other side. You want to be directly across. Oof, my foot just cramped. Ugh, I don't like that. It's sliding up, but it'll be okay. All right. Now that's loose. We got to vice grip right there. All right, then take your 24, go to the top. There you go. That's why I use the vice grips, because if you don't, this will just spin. And then you got to remember how you rebuilt it. So it's nut, plate like that. Then this piece, which is annoying as fuck, but you see how it's damaged and exploded and shit. So I have a replacement for that. So bam, that's the seal for that. Then you got the rubber boot on the inside. You need that. I'm gonna reuse that, even though it's fucking ugly too. And then this you have to use again. This one also is zip tied. This boot that tore, I'm gonna take that off. Don't need that shit, it's ugly. So, bam. And then just like in the back, you have this kink. It goes to the end of the spring. So make sure you line that up in the future. Then you can take this off, bang, bang. Take your spring off, be careful, don't let that shit explode. More shitty boots. This one you wanna keep because this is the seat for the spring right there. So now that's done. This is garbage. And then let's go look at the other parts that we have. All right, so I bought these Super Pro strut top and bearing kit. So basically this goes at the top, as you saw when we disassembled it, and then there's bearings in here, right? But this cap comes off, and then bam, you have that seal right there, and you can see the bearings all greased up in there. Okay, whoever installed the lowering springs the last time still had this on it. So yesterday when I started rebuilding one of these, I tried to install it with this cap still on there. Doesn't work. Funny enough, this cap was still there and it was still exploded. So that's why almost every time you touch these, you have to replace them. It's a good thing to replace them. But here's the funny thing. I'm not an expert, so I don't know if I did something wrong, but I have done some jobs like this before. But if you look in there, this doesn't even sit, it won't sit on it. And it already separated, and I already have bearings falling out. I'm pretty sure that these things go on exploded. I don't know, hopefully when I install it and it up in there, it'll push back down and snap back in. But I mean, I've got this thing pretty on there, so I don't know what the fuck that's about. You know, hopefully some expert can tell me in the comments that I'm fucking this up. But I'm assuming that the car's gonna be fine with the exploded bearings anyway, because shit was driving like that for a long time anyway, so, and I had no problem. So yeah, this actually is, I made a mistake yesterday. I grabbed the wrong strut tower. This is the driver's side, and I was rebuilding the passenger side. So this actually goes over there, and I'm gonna show you how to build the passenger side instead, and then reinstall the driver's side. Okay, so here we go. Seat. All right, so in the bushing kit, you get this little thing. It goes in here, and then you get this lube. There is no real explanation, so I assume since this metal is touching this polyester or whatever it is, I assume it goes in here and on the metal itself. And then when you squeeze it in there, it's so slippery. Bang, bang, it'll squeeze some out. I'll just go ahead and put it back in, okay? And then what I did on the other side, so I took that off. It's a lot. I don't think it needs that much. And I just went ahead and lubed up this this seal here for those bearings. No such thing as too much lube. Except for anti-seize lubricant. You can put too much of that shit on anything. There we go. Spring. We'll figure out how to line that up in a second. Then here's the top. Pop that in. Like that. It's so ugly. This one. Yeah, it was this one facing up, that one facing down. And then, so see, already, this already fell out. I haven't even snapped it in yet. I purposely didn't snap it in to see what happened, and it fell out. So, that shit is beyond me, man. Go. Vice grips. Whoa. The springs. Drill's dying. Look at that. That's crazy. What a fucking waste of money. All right, this one actually goes on the other side, and then the other one comes over here. So we will swap that real quick. All right, so just like in the rear, top goes in first. Line your strut up where you want it. I'm not gonna tighten it up all the way because I want to bolt everything in first, then tighten that up. So that's just basically holding it, because there's gonna be some adjusting that you're gonna have to do to bolt everything back up, okay? All right, so I'm gonna do the sway bar first. 14. Okay, then we're gonna get these hoses in. That goes like that, and then it turns. You get the gist. Battery's dying on everything right now, so voila, moment of truth. Oh yeah. Yeah, those look good. Still feels pretty tight. I'm gonna check on these after I drive it. I'm gonna clamp onto the shock again. Okay, so I'm pretty excited. I'm ready to see how everything looks when the shocks settle. We're gonna be driving into a car meet tonight, and tomorrow, after my drill is charged and after we drive and make sure we hear any noises or whatever, I'm gonna double check these with the drill, re-tighten up all my lug nuts and everything. So yeah, not bad, right? Look at the car, man. Look at the tire. These are 275s, 40s on some 18s. The wheels are Oddhon DSO 8s. I don't know any other G8s with these wheels. Yeah, man, that looks good. I'm very happy about that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I helped y'all. I had fun doing this. I don't know why I enjoy doing springs, even though it's supposed to be scary and dangerous and shit. But I enjoyed it. It was fun, and I got it knocked out in a day. So, well, basically a day. Hope I helped out. Like and subscribe. Check out our other videos, Corvette stuff, whatever. Got some new Corvette stuff coming up soon, actually. So yeah, tell me what you think in the comments of the new wheels. It's not traditional G8 style, but I think it works really well. This is my first time with some Continentals, so I'm pretty excited. So it's time to eat. I'm tired. Y'all have a good one. Peace.